Welcome to episode 74 of the State of the Market for Law Firm Sales in 11 Minutes. My name is Jeremy Cook, and I lead Senior Attorney Match. In today's episode, we'll address the two reasons why senior attorney sellers want purchasing law firms to win. So let's jump right into it. When sellers of senior attorney led firms, and those are firms that are typically led by lawyers that have practiced for more than 30 years, when they're selling their law firms primarily to growing law firms, it's really two reasons why those senior attorney sellers want their purchasers to win. One is obvious and one may be a little bit less obvious. From the obvious standpoint, why do senior attorney sellers want a purchaser to win is for financial benefit. The financial terms of most sales of senior attorney led firms are based upon earnouts. That is, senior attorney seller, the value proposition from seller to purchaser is we are transitioning over to you, the purchaser, our clients and referral sources in consideration for earnout terms. Typical earnout terms can be somewhere between 20 to 30%, let's just say on a transactional firm, on a contingency firm, can be a third or even higher over a negotiated period of time, 3 years, 5 years, sometimes even longer. Selling lawyer absolutely wants the purchasing firm to win because the more clients that purchasing firm represents means the greater amount of the earnout that is paid on that book of business. And in terms of what is the most valuable aspect component in a law firm sales 1.0, as we call that type transaction, is transitioning the book of business that a selling attorney or law firm has developed over the course of their careers. And that book of business is comprised of clients and referral sources. The next reason why selling lawyers want purchasing firms to win is because of legacy. And we see that all the time. Of course, monetizing the practice is very important to senior attorney owners of law firms. What we often see is they want purchasers to succeed, to win as well for legacy reasons. And those legacy reasons are really threefold. First, and again, this is not about the money. The first part of legacy is making sure that your staff is taken care of. We're often seeing in sales to purchasing firms that the purchasing firms, they want and need the lawyers and non-lawyer staff of a senior attorney led firm. It's a huge part of legacy because you know that the people that work so hard for you will continue to have a job. The second component of legacy is making sure that your clients are taken care of. And we see that all the time in terms of what the selling lawyers, what they want is for their clients to have ongoing, competent, and zealous representation for years to come, which is what purchasers offer. And then the third element of legacy is helping a purchasing, growing law firm to succeed. And there's a great satisfaction by senior attorney sellers when they know that they're adding new clients to a purchasing firm. They're helping add new employees in terms of lawyers and support staff to a growing purchasing firm. And they're also bringing over subject matter knowledge that they have developed over the course of their careers. That is, the senior attorney sellers, they get great satisfaction from a legacy standpoint by bringing over that subject matter knowledge to a purchasing law firm. In terms of the participation in that legacy component, what we often see is trust transfer. Because the financial component to the sale of a senior attorney led firm is often based upon an earnout, the selling lawyer or lawyers are incentivized to participate. And in fact, they want to participate by transferring the trust of their clients, the trust of their referral sources to the lawyers at a purchasing law firm. And that trust transfer happens in three ways: happens in person, happens today via Zoom, Teams, whichever way of like video conferencing, where senior attorney seller or sellers can introduce clients over video conferencing, let's call it Zoom, and literally like a couple of minutes, incredibly satisfying from a legacy standpoint of how those clients are able to matriculate, transition over to a purchasing law firm. And also in today's day and age, via social media. What a senior attorney seller often could never do, does not necessarily adopt full fledged multi channel digital marketing. It's incredibly satisfying to know that the growing law firm is reaching out to clients, sending out e-newsletters, connecting on LinkedIn, sending video links, podcast links, even participating as the senior attorney seller, as an of counsel attorney, often participating in creating the multi-channel digital marketing content that they often didn't have time to. And it also is a feature of that legacy to be able to offer their subject matter knowledge via multi-channel digital marketing. So when we focus on the four elements of legacy in particular, in terms of what it is and why senior attorney sellers want a purchasing law firm to win on the legacy side, there's four elements to that. The first is legacy of knowing that your clients are taken care of. Second is knowing that your staff is going to continue to have ongoing employment with the purchasing law firm. Third element is that cumulative expertise that you've developed over the course of your career. It's a huge win to senior attorney sellers to know that other lawyers and support staff too are going to learn and benefit from those, call them tricks of the trade, that experience that you've developed over the course of your careers. And then the fourth element is the marketing value, is that goodwill that you've developed over the course of your career, that you know that that goodwill is going to carry over into a firm that you've joined, whether that means the bio of yours that's going to be added to their website, the subject matter knowledge that you've developed that can be converted into multi-channel digital marketing videos, podcasts, e-newsletters, and more, all to support that legacy that senior attorney sellers benefit from when purchasing law firms win by purchasing senior attorney-led firms. So for today's recap, there are two reasons why senior attorney sellers of law firms want purchasing law firms to win. The first reason is financial. They want the purchasing firms to win because they want the purchasing firm to continue representing their clients over a negotiated period of time, because the financial terms in most sales of senior attorney-led firms that are led primarily by rainmaker attorneys are earnout terms. Purchasing firm is offering the value proposition that they will pay a percentage of revenues derived from a defined book of business over a negotiated number of years. So selling law firm wants the purchasing firm to win because that all important book of business that the selling law firm developed over the course of decades, often that book of business will matriculate, transition to purchasing law firm, purchasing law firm will then pay upon the clients and referral sources that generate work for the purchasing firm and pay that consideration via an earnout. The second reason why senior attorney sellers want purchasing firms to win is because of the legacy that senior attorney sellers would love for the purchasing law firm to benefit by. And that legacy shows up in different ways. First, it shows up in terms of knowing that your support staff is going to be joining a purchasing law firm. Purchasing firms often need the lawyers and support staff, non-lawyer staff of a selling law firm, to know that your clients are taken care of, that the purchasing firm will continue representing the clients of a senior attorney-led selling firm for years to come. And also, very often, senior attorney sellers, they just love knowing that a growing law firm is going to benefit by what they created over the course of decades in terms of boosting their client list, boosting their talented workforce, and adding literally treasure chests of subject matter knowledge for growing law firms, purchasing firms to convert that subject matter knowledge into digital content to attract the attention of today's and tomorrow's clients that search online for lawyers and law firms to hire. But just to focus on those really four elements of the legacy that senior attorneys bring to growing law firms and what the senior attorney sellers want in terms of wanting those growing law firms, purchasing firms to win by inheriting that legacy. The four elements of the legacy are comprised of the clients that come over to purchasing law firm, the lawyer and non-lawyer support staff that come over to the purchasing law firm, the cumulative expertise, that subject matter knowledge that senior attorneys have developed over the course of their careers that benefit the lawyers at a purchasing law firm, and finally, the marketing value, the goodwill that a senior attorney-led firm has developed in their community regionally, sometimes nationally, even internationally. Bring over that marketing value. It is a huge source of satisfaction and a big win to both senior attorneys and purchasing law firms when those purchasing law firms are able to market that goodwill that a senior attorney seller or sellers has developed over their course of their careers to new clients for the purchasing firm to represent. And that is the state of the market for law firm sales in 11 minutes.